Eric, you stinky boy, I knew Cooper men weren't that easy to knock down. On the hospital lawn, Eric was walking with his mother when his brother Joshua Cooper jumped out of nowhere and punched him in the chest. Joshua, you're going to hurt him, the old mother widened. Don't worry, Mom, I didn't try too hard. Eric looked at the strong man in front of him a little strangely. Joshua, aren't you training in San Francisco? Joshua Cooper, the eldest son of the Cooper family, is 23 years old this year. Unlike his younger brother, Joshua's academic performance can only be described as subdued, but his physical fitness is even better. Joshua was a member of the varsity football team from high school and continued through college. After graduating from college, he went to San Francisco and now plays for the 49ers. Joshua Cooper pointed to his mother and said, "Why am I here?" "Of course it's our dear mother. I got a call last night and drove back early this morning." "Is the team on leave?" "It's going to be the season now." Joshua smiled mysteriously. "I have a good relationship with Mrs. Brown in the manager's department, so I was given 3 days off." After saying that, he gave Eric a knowing look. Before Eric could speak, the face of the old mother next to him had changed, and as a more traditional woman, Emily's tone carried a hint of anger. "Joshua, if you dare to fuck outside, I can't spank you, but you won't want to enter Eric's door again." Joshua waved his hand and stepped back. Wow, what are you going to do? Like I've committed some heinous sin." Emily snorted coldly. "What I said, you know it in your heart." "Okay, Mom, I have a good relationship with Mrs. Brown because I always bring her donuts and hot dogs. She loves this, that's all," Joshua said as he made lewd gestures behind his hands at an angle that only Eric could see, one hand cuffed in a circle and the other finger thrust up. "Well, it's just donuts and hot dogs." Eric slapped his head on the door. "Okay, Joshua, I don't think you need to explain. Instead of wasting time explaining, you should do me a favor." Joshua wrapped his backhand around his brother's neck. "Of course, if there is anything, just open your mouth. As your brother, I am duty-bound." "Party, throw a party for me." Joshua understood. "Why don't we say that we are brothers? Because we are of the same mind and have experienced so much suffering. You really need to relax." As he spoke, he leaned into Eric's ear and whispered, "I'll find the location. The hot girls are enough." Eric looked at his cheap guy speechlessly, secretly thinking that Americans are thinking about this kind of thing when they say that parties. It's a pity that as a celestial empire person in his heart, he doesn't accept fast food very much in his bones, and he feels a little dirty. He prefers to eat home-cooked food because it is clean and exciting. "Joshua, the location is set at home. I don't care who you want to invite, but I'll give you a list, and these guys must be notified in place." "What do you want to do?" "Who are they?" "My college classmates, the ones with the best relationship. Anyway, I don't object to you if you want to invite the girl, as long as my mother agrees." Next to her, Emily Cooper clasped her arms to her chest, looking like you were doing it. Joshua suddenly showed a bitter face. "Then I'll forget it. Watching movies, eating barbecue, and drinking beer is also pretty good." Ever since he knew the time he was in, Eric realized that something was wrong, because that Wind Whisperer was coming. Wind Whisperer, as John Woo's last film in the United States, was released in June 2002 in my memory. And this war film with a huge investment, but MGM almost went bankrupt, and it can be said that the pants that lost money are almost gone. Since then, John Woo's word-of-mouth reputation has collapsed because of Changing Face and Mission Impossible 2. The following years, Memory Rift lost money, although the loss was not as tragic as Wind Whisperer, but no one in Hollywood was willing to invest in him anymore. And John Woo, who couldn't get along, could only return to China, and in the name of an international director, he fooled China Film, Pony Galloping, Yozu Pictures, and other companies to invest in the filming of Red Cliff and Taiping Wheel. However, his old film concepts and models can no longer keep up with the needs of the times, and the audience's aesthetic level is improving day by day. As a result, it is not surprising that the movies all hit the streets, and even Taiping Wheel led to the acceleration of the acquisition of pony galloping, which can be said to be a complete failure. And it's not the most terrible thing to let MGM wear pants, and what is more serious is that many MGM executives in memory also resigned because of this. However, everyone pays attention to directors and actors, except for Hollywood insiders. No one noticed who the executive who resigned was back then, but he didn't expect his cheap dad Charlie Cooper to be one of them. No wonder my dad has been working overtime in the company recently, and he still looks preoccupied. It seems that MGM has evaluated the Wind Whisperer internally, and the results speak for themselves. Once Shaylee Cooper fails to resign, it will have a huge impact on the whole family, especially his future planning, and his film road will become bumpy and rugged, so he must not let his father resign. Eric has been thinking about what to do, and after thinking about it for a day, it suddenly dawned on me. Why am I obsessed with not letting my dad quit? The purpose of not letting Shaylee Cooper resign is to make it easier for him to make movies. After all, movies are what he is most proficient in, and he is sure that he can succeed. And since the purpose is to make a movie yourself, what is more convenient than to start your own film company? And since you want to start your own film company, what could be more suitable than buying MGM? As one of the 7 major Hollywood studios in existence, MGM is the weakest, but it is also better than Lionsgate, Emperorgate. The new line is so strong, especially now that it is only 2002. This giant has not yet fallen, although it is in its last years. And compared to the complex shareholding structure of other companies, the vast majority of MGM's equity is held in the hands of one person, and this person is not interested in making movies at all, so it is relatively easy to acquire, as long as the money is in place. So the rest is the key question, figuring out how much it would cost to acquire MGM and where to get it yourself. I remember that before The Crossing, Amazon seemed to have spent more than $8 billion to acquire MGM, but half or more of the debt was accounted for. And MGM's assets and liabilities in 2002 were not so exaggerated, which can be inquired from his father's mouth, and it is estimated that it is about 3 or 4 billion. And it's not easy to get billions in a short period of time. Stocks, futures, Bitcoin, etc. are too slow, he can't wait, and he hasn't paid attention to these aspects in his previous life, so he can't do it. So Eric's attention is on the crooked path, that is, the upcoming World Cup in South Korea and Japan.